Hello YouTube. I've had this Golf for a while. I figured I'd do a little update, see what I've been doing to it. I've had it for quite a while. In the last couple of years, the gas gauge stopped working. First it was intermittent and then it just totally died. When you're driving around, it would be just how it is right there, just completely dead. So first thing I thought was the sending unit. So I figured out from YouTube that if you ground this wire, this purple and black wire here, violet and black, unplug it and then ground that to chassis, then the gauge should come to life. Which the gauge never came to life, it just would stay just how it is right there. Completely dead. And so I've got this manual here, and that's the 1990 Mk2 Golf Mexico production, which is what my car is, unfortunately. And so gauge 1 is a fuel gauge right here. There's a blue wire. And then it goes in here, comes back down, and then there's the violet and black that came out of the fuel pump sending unit. So what I did is I found this blue wire in the back of the cluster, which right here it says is pin 21. And I checked the resistance to ground, and the resistance to ground here at the back of the cluster on this blue wire was the same as it was when I checked it at the sending unit back in here. So if the resistance at the sending unit right here is the same as the resistance right there, which it was like 64 ohms, and that tells me that the cluster itself is bad, or there's bad ground on the cluster. So I took the cluster out, took it apart initially, didn't see anything, put it back together, and then I put it back in the car and it still wasn't working, and then took it out again and I was looking at it and I found the break, the problem in the cluster itself. So I'll show you what I did to fix it, because now it is working. I took you'll see I had to use a jumper lead from another spot inside the cluster to the fuel gauge connection, and then it now works. So the brake was actually in the cluster itself. So this is going to be the video of me just fixing the cluster, because you should just get a new cluster at this point. But I tried finding one and it is pretty much impossible unless you want to spend several $100s on one that's probably just as bad. So this is what I did. This, of course, is plastic, but there's a copper ring right there that's exposed. I'm trying to get a little bit of solder on there so that I also have a little bit of solder on the tip of the wire. So if they both have a little coating of solder, then you touch the wire to it and then just touch the soldering iron and it should stick. That's my theory. So I'm hoping this works. right. Just a little dab of solder on there. Oh shoot, I did the wrong one. Gosh dang it. What am I thinking? Hopefully I didn't just ruin it. That was a good practice one, I guess. Okay. Yep, so there's a little bit of solder on there. And a little bit more to tip this wire. Man. I'm hoping I can just stick this on there. Have it stay. Okay. All right, I think it worked. Just need another nut. So snug that down and hopefully it'll keep working. So before I put this tape on there, I'm just show you what has just happened. So this is for the gas gauge right here. This gauge wasn't working. I tested the wires, tested the sending unit. Sending unit was good. It's getting the signal all the way up to the connector here, and the gas gauge still wasn't working. So I followed the current track and I found that right here, that's got a break in it, and that's where it connects to this terminal right here. If you look, here's a blank spot over here. So this, if you follow it, goes down to the connector here. If you follow it the other way, it goes all the way up, around, back through, and then down past this break where it's like corroded kind of, or like got flexed too much. And then it doesn't, the signal's not getting there. So I added this jumper wire from here to here, and I'm gonna go make sure that it works, because I put an alligator clip between here and there, and I tested it earlier and it worked. So we'll see. And just to keep this wire a little bit more secure, I'm gonna add this piece of foam tape. Sticks pretty good. It's gonna vibrate a lot in that solder. I only put a tiny bit of solder on there because I didn't want it to get into the circuit that it's not supposed to. So hopefully I didn't ruin anything I wasn't supposed to, but I think this is, hopefully it'll work. We'll see. Okay, turn the key on. And it's working. Believe it or not, that took a long time to figure out. So I did all kinds of tests. I did watch the different YouTube videos and went through the whole service manual until I finally figured out it was the actual gauge itself that's bad. So hopefully this video could help somebody, because it was not the sending unit Sending in it was good. The wiring was good. It was just that broken spot on the back of the cluster that was keeping it from working. Thanks for watching.